Thank you for subscribing to the 666 Mark of the Beast Tell-All Show, and thank you for sharing this video with others. Together, we will finish the work that God would have us to do. Hi, I'm Henry. Welcome to the 666 Mark of the Beast Tell-All Show. If you came because I sent you out a personal invitation, please be sure to subscribe. I've been limited on the number of invitations that I can send out. And like the program, and be sure to send out invitations to your friends so that they'll hear about the 666 Mark of the Beast Tell-All Show. Today is an important program. We're talking about nukes in Ukraine. Believe it or not, the 666 Mark of the Beast is upon us. The second end-time beast in Revelation 13 that comes from the prophetic earth of Bible prophecy is being identified by its ability to call fire down from heaven. He does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. When President Vladimir Putin of Russia annexed parts of Ukraine, Putin also said that America is the only power on earth that has ever used nuclear weapons in wartime.
The U.S. is the only country in the world to have used nuclear weapons on 2 occasions, resulting in the destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which reminds me, they have created a precedent.
Thus, in a sense, President Truman fulfilled Bible prophecy, but that partial fulfillment that identified America as the prophetic earth beast was not the complete fulfillment of the end-time Bible prophecy. And in the end-time context of Bible prophecy, America does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. America will do it again. Will it be in an attempt to try to stop Putin? Back in the early 1980s, while watching the evening news, I was amazed by the progress of America's Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI. It's also called Star Wars. I wrote a letter to Mikhail Gorbachev describing the test that I had seen on TV at White Sands Testing Facility in New Mexico. A laser was mounted on a tower, and it turned a dummy missile poised on a test launching pad into a pile of rubble that was sent to the FBI lab to be examined. In the report that followed, the FBI noted that the metal failed to maintain its normal bonds for unknown reasons. In another test, the laser was mounted on a jet fighter. It successfully intercepted a test rocket in flight and zapped it. And there was the test with the space shuttle over Hawaii. The shuttle extended a mirror that was attached to its robotic arm. The Hawaiian-based ground laser zapped the mirror, and the laser beam hit its target on the other side of the planet. And there were reports of ground land-based lasers in New Mexico, Florida, and Hawaii. And I also saw reports that America was monitoring mosquito migrations using satellites, and that they could actually read license plates. The ability for America to see minute details from space was confirmed by President Donald Trump just before he left office. President Trump released photos of a North Korean rocket being tested on the launch pad. The images taken from the spy satellites up in space were crystal clear. After sharing public information and facts about other tests that I had been seeing on TV, I asked Mr. Gorbachev, would having nuclear missiles be more dangerous to the USSR than to its adversaries if they could be zapped on their launching pads or in Soviet airspace soon after being launched? Mr. Gorbachev's public statement that followed my letter was, "You never know what the postman will bring." Then he earnestly began talks with President Reagan to start reducing the nuclear stockpiles in both the USSR and America. But now that President Putin is in charge in the former Soviet Union, he is making threats to use nuclear weapons to facilitate his goals in Ukraine. President Putin must not be reading his Bible, or he's not understanding it is talking about America. America does great wonders so that it makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. America does this while the Biden-Harris administration exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. The Biden-Harris administration is the end-time power, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. The beast that had its deadly wound healed was the papacy. It was the first truly global superpower. It dominated the world for 1,260 years without having its own army to keep everyone in check. It controlled the minds of men. And America is preparing to do that very thing by introducing a global central bank digital currency so that no one can buy or sell unless they abide by America's guidelines. President Biden issued his executive order number 14067 on March 9, 2022 to start initiating the central bank digital currency. In a prophecy that is taking parallel tracks, Daniel 8 is telling us that while President Trump is being broken, the Biden administration will become mighty toward the east, which is Russia. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. The he-goat is symbolic of the Republicans under the leadership of President Trump. The horn that is broken is President Trump. After his political base got very powerful, President Trump was ousted from office. The matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomsoever he will, and sets up over it the basest of men. The 4 notable ones mentioned in Daniel 8 that arose when President Trump was ousted were the 4 branches of America's government that the January 6th rebellion attempted to topple: the House of Representatives, the Senate, the executive branch, and the Supreme Court. The Biden-Harris administration came from one of the notable ones, the Senate, in that both President Biden and Vice President Harris had been senators. Joe Biden had been in the Senate for years, and Kamala Harris Emhoff was a sitting senator when she was elected to be vice president. She actually resigned her Senate seat on January 18, 2021 to become vice president in fulfillment of Bible prophecy, 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. Notice how current history is fulfilling Bible prophecy. The Russian-Ukraine tragedy is on a parallel track with the Trump saga. By their fulfillment, Daniel and Revelation are now explaining themselves. In recent polls, most U.S. voters now say that Trump should not be allowed to serve as president again. And the Bible says, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. When the Trump administration was in office, it set the stage for events that are now happening. Vice President Mike Pence swore in Air Force General John W., nicknamed J. Raymond, as the highest-ranking military leader of the newly created U.S. Space Force in a ceremony that recognized the arrival of the nation's newest military branch. And the Bible says, "And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land." America does great wonders, so that it makes fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Kamala Harris Emhoff is the sitting senator that moved to the executive branch as vice president. Her responsibilities are being directed toward the South. Kamala Harris's biggest assignment is in Latin America. Vice President Kamala Harris to lead National Space Council under Biden administration. Do not miss it. Out of the Senate, one of the four branches of American's government, Kamala Harris Emhoff, who has the number 666 of the image beast, is President Biden's point person to Latin America. Just count the number of the letters in her name. Kamala 6, Harris 6, Emhoff 6. As America's power grows toward the east, Russia is threatening to use nuclear weapons in the war with Ukraine. Ukraine is in the east, and Kamala Harris Emhoff is heading the National Space Council. The U.S. Space Force, whose leader was sworn in by America's last vice president, is the military branch of the United States government that manages the power to rain fire down from the sky. Revelation 13 states that America is to call fire down from space in the sight of men, eyewitnesses, to enforce its dictates. Are you watching Bible prophecy that is being fulfilled in our very day? Do you understand what you are seeing? Did you know where we are in Bible prophecy? Are you ready for America to call fire down from the sky on Russia or anyone else? Are you prepared to survive without being able to buy or sell if you don't buy into this new monetary system that President Biden is setting up? Are you sure that you will not take the 666 mark of the beast? 2 Mormon missionaries recently visited me. They were almost completely unaware of the significance of the 666 mark of the beast. They wanted to know what I was talking about. Are you ready for Jesus to come? Or like those Mormon missionaries, are you sleeping instead of watching? Are you watching other things? When Christ comes in his glory, will you hear him call you his good and faithful servant? Are you sharing the links to these videos on my YouTube channel with other people so that they can check them out for themselves and use their time to get ready for Christ's advent? Be ready to be raptured to glory. Don't delay. Do you need more information to be prepared? I'm working on a book about end-time Bible prophecy that will help you to understand the last day events that are upon us so that you can be ready when Jesus comes. For more information, my email link is in the description below. Send me a note and I'll tell you how you can get a copy. Put book in the subject line of the email that you sent me. And check out the videos in the description below. Press the like button for videos that you like and pray for the message to get out. Subscribe to my channel. Tell others about the truths that you are hearing and share the links and pray that the truth will be heard before it's too late. That before all is said and done, America is going to be using its Star Wars technology. to compel the world to wonder after the beast. And America is going to be the last power that wages war against God's people. While my videos are still available, tell your friends about them. Share the links with them. Subscribe to my channel. Press the like buttons and help finish God's work. Don't wait until it's too late to warn people of the dangers that are upon us. There's coming a time when it will be too late to share the gospel. Be a blessing now while there's still time. Thank you for subscribing to the 666 Mark of the Beast Tell-All Show, and thank you for sharing this video with others. Together, we will finish the work that God would have us to do.